I don't know, guys. Was it the best night of the regular season thus far?
Yes.
I mean, absolutely electric. The stars were out across the street at Crypto.com Arena in the battle for Los Angeles. I'm a little glad I pushed my grandma bedtime back in order to make it to the fourth quarter because it was a playoff atmosphere. Let's show you what happened here. The Lakers, the Clippers delivered an overtime thriller. I'm going to call it right now. It was the game of the year so far.
Sis, facts.
So, of course, James Harden in the building. PJ Tucker actually suited up for this one, of course, also part of that trade. Kawhi Leonard, my friends, playing in the second night of a back-to-back where he'd played 33 minutes the night before, 18 points in the first, Chiney.
Look, once in a while we get the vintage Kawhi that wants to come out there and make a statement, especially against the competition's best. He started out of the gate hot.
He had 22 in the first half. The Clippers led by 13.
Oh, that was the play.
Got him doing the stanky leg.
Oh, do the stanky leg.
And LeBron James loves it. Austin Reeves knew that the Lakers needed a little bit more from him.
And he needed that one for his confidence.
Well, and then the Lakers outscored the Clippers by 15 in the third. So on to the fourth we go. Tie game. LeBron James elevates.
Yes, doing what he do best, getting his lick back. But look, that midi, Chiney always talk about getting to his sweet spot.
This
and
is
look,
his signature
we already
move.
knew it was coming. Big Zubac on the switch. Take that. And look LeBron. He don't want none of this smoke.
LeBron had 12 in the fourth, but here comes the Clippers. Russell Westbrook hits the three, cuts the lead to 5 here.
Look, there's no bigger motivation for Russ to have a good game than his new teammate on the bench.
All three of the Clippers stars really were showing out last night. A little and one there for Paul George. Didn't make the free throw, though, but made up for it on this play. Over D'Lo, tough three.
That's playoff basketball right there. I mean, just being able to make the shots when they matter most. Paul George with a great game as well, especially in the fourth quarter.
20 in the fourth for Paul George. Final seconds here. This is who you want to have the ball. He was hot all night, couldn't quite get it to go. Is that a little shade? Is that a little Isis made shade from Paul George? On to overtime. Paul George would foul out of the game, but Kawhi Leonard, turnover here. Anthony Davis is pushing it up.
Don't you do it.
Year 21. Chiney is standing up in her chair. Jason Tatum was probably standing up when he tweeted that LeBron is doing ridiculous.
He was in ice tub.
LeBron James last year led the league in fast break points per game. How is he doing this? His son is even mystified.
His sons are loving it. Kawhi elevates, gets it to go. This was a game. Final seconds, three-point game to the corner. Three-point can't go. Christian Wood is there for the cleanup. Lakers get the win, 130-125. The celebration continued into the locker room. But here's the deal. LeBron, just 5 games into his 21st season, he already has 2 of the 3 highest scoring games for a player that's been in the league as long as he has. He smashed that record with 35 last night. LeBron, I don't feel like he has all that much to prove, right, in year 21. But what did you learn about LeBron watching him in this mode last night, Perk?
Something that I already know. Number one, he's still the face of the league, and he's been holding that throne, and no one has dethroned him. And number 2, right, making people around him better and making them elevate their game.
Absolutely.
Iron sharpens iron. If you go back and you look at the history of LeBron James' teammates, you look at the situation when Cleveland traded for Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith. The main piece was Iman Shumpert, but then J.R. Smith get alongside LeBron James, and we saw how that went in Cleveland. I watched Cam Reddish yesterday look phenomenal on both ends of the floor, playing with a level of confidence, and that's what LeBron James do. Like, not only is he great, but when you get in that locker room and you get on the floor with him, all of a sudden you elevate to a certain standard, and I watch him rub off on people.
My takeaway was love him, hate him. If you did not have goosebumps watching what he did, you don't have a pulse. Because the reality is there are very, very few people, individuals, not even talking about sports, that can capture hearts, minds, emotions, even if you're a Clippers fan, the way that he did. Again, Perk.
There are only a handful of Clippers fans.
Oh, yeah, thank you. But, you're grateful to be in that environment no matter who you're rooting for.
Yep.
What LeBron James did was special. Oldest player to lead his team in points, assists, rebounds since Michael Jordan. It was one of those things. His word is witness, and we're all witnesses to greatness once again. And I think it was bigger than sports yesterday.
There were so many jaw-dropping stats, but when I look at the box score, there's 2 numbers that stand out to me. The 42 minutes, right, that James played, as well as the 19-point hole the Lakers dug themselves out of. Those numbers made an impression on LeBron James as well.
Well, the first thing I said when we came to the bench when it went to overtime, I said, "You guys killing me, man. I'm trying to keep my minutes down now. It's another 5 minutes I'm adding on to it. I looked right at D-Lo. I said, knock that down for me, so I ain't got to so I ain't got to play another 5 minutes. But, I mean, obviously, I'm definitely a competitor, and, there's going to be a line. There's definitely a line that we want to kind of stay at, and some games is going to be, dictated on his own. Some games will have the ability to be able to, not have my minutes up as much. But I know when I'm on the floor, I can make plays. I can make things happen for our team, both offensively and defensively. But we'll do a good job as the season goes on as far as just making sure that we're in the wheelhouse where we want to be.
Brian, I'm curious, how sustainable do you think this formula is for the Lakers, leaning on LeBron? Once again, the thing that we talked about, their depth trying to save them from as they continue to try to salvage their situation in late games.
Yeah, it's a good news, worrying news for the Lakers. Like, LeBron's fourth quarter play in these first 5 games is as good of a fourth quarter stretch as we've seen in his career. He's averaging 10 points and shooting over 60% from the field in the fourth quarters. And that's been huge for the Lakers. That's been a difference-making performance over and over to get them to this 3-2 record. And the reason you're seeing him do this is because this is healthy and fresh LeBron. He's able to have that explosion. He's able to push off that foot again, which he wasn't able to do at the end of last season. This is what you want to see LeBron have in the tank when you get to the end of the year. And that's why the Lakers were really hoping to avoid this. He's actually averaging more minutes per game this year than he did last year. And you look at AD leading the league in minutes. Now, the reason they are, guys, is because the Lakers have played 3 overtime games. And the reason they've played 3 overtime games is because they haven't been able to get it done in regulation. Yeah. They really loved their depth at the start of this season. Their depth hasn't played out this first 7 to 10 days. They've had some injuries for sure. Last night they were missing 5 guys, but the guys that they've needed down the bench haven't been able to do it. So they've needed to rely on AD and LeBron. Those minutes go up, the performance goes up, but you could even tell last night, there was an amazing effort, but LeBron is savvy. He's been around. Here he's talking about already watching those minutes, already worrying about what this means. So, look, it was one night in November. We're not going to freak out about it, but this can't be something that happens over and over.
But the very, very early trend is that the Lakers have been digging themselves into these big holes early on in the first quarter and then just not being able to come out of them. So, Perk, real quick here, I want a percentage chance that this is sustainable, the load that LeBron is carrying.
A hundo. You know what a hundo is? 100%. Let me explain why. We know that LeBron James, right, he's striving for greatness. Yes, he want to win another championship, and he's going to continue to pile on for his resume, okay? We understand that. But before the season, LeBron James dedicated this season to who? Bronny James. So he's out there playing with a different type of motivation and a different type of spirit. When your son and your child goes through something like Bronny did, all of a sudden that impacts you. And I see LeBron playing with a different passion and a different purpose. So if you're asking me, is he going to be able to sustain this? Yes, because he's playing with a passion, a purpose, and a reason, which is Bronny James, who he dedicated this season to. Statistics
was my worst class in school, but I do remember something about there being variables that affect the outcomes, and health seems to be the biggest variable in that 100%. Let's get to the flip side of this, because the Clippers' big 3, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Russell Westbrook. Look at this. They combined for 97 points, the most they have ever combined for as a trio of teammates. But they were also aware that no matter how much they're clicking right now, adjustments, they are coming, right, with the addition of James Harden.
I mean, great additions. Obviously, James is superstar, proving that year after year. Another playmaker, another scorer, leader. Really happy to have him here.
It's going to be sacrifice. It's only one basketball, and we just got to figure it out from there. But I think we all are old enough to understand what we want to do here, and we'll see what happens.
What do you think it's going to take for the entire group, including yourself, to get through the process well?
Give it a break, y'all. It'll be a process. Yeah. Like I don't have the answer. I don't know. I don't predict the future. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I don't know, bro. But it's gonna be a process. It's gonna be ups and downs. It's gonna be good games, bad games. It's not just gonna come together and mesh, and we're gonna be perfectly fine. That's unrealistic expectations for everybody.
Perk, you're having a pretty strong reaction to those words from Russell Westbrook. Who do you think is going to have to make the biggest sacrifice to make it work?
I mean, we were on the countdown yesterday when I said a prayer for T. Lue. The whole team is going to have to sacrifice, right? Especially Russell Westbrook and James Harden.
Chiney?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, simple as that. I think that the biggest sacrifice is going to have to come from, obviously, the point guards, but it's got to be Russ. Just because, you know, he's been through some stops, too.
It feels like he knows it.
He knows it.
The tenor of those comments.
It may not be easy to realize in real time, but by the time the basketball is being played, I think Russ will understand that, hey, it was out of his control picking this, but he's still going to have to be a professional because James Harden is here to help them win and compete.
Brian?
Yeah, this is what I want to watch. So Lawrence Frank gave a press conference before the game talking about the trade, and he said that, you know, James Harden has set the standard that he'll sacrifice, that he should have been an all-star last year, but he had sacrifice with the Sixers. And I would say, no matter what James Harden wants to say and what he might say when he talks to the media for the first time, I don't think the sacrifice worked out well for James Harden in Philadelphia. He gave up a ton of money, and then last year took a huge back step to lead the league in assists so that Joel Embiid could shine as the MVP. And when he got to the end of the tunnel, he didn't get what he thought he was going to get at the other end of it. So I do think that he'll come in with a sacrifice mindset. But I wouldn't blame James Harden if he was a little once bitten, twice shy, especially if we get into this process. Because at the end of the day, yes, James Harden wants to win with the Clippers. He wants another contract. And at the end of last year, there was no market for him after the way he played last season. That is something to watch.
Sure.
Because I wouldn't just make the assumption that James Harden's, you know, sacrifice mindset is going to be the same as it was when he first got to Philadelphia.
I feel bad for Russ. He did everything and more, and it's been great since he put on the Clippers uniform.
Last night was impressive.
And he's going to have to sacrifice. That's going to be hard.
I agree.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm on fire. It's NBA,